Hello and welcome, dear friends. In this video, we are going to work together on extraction using the percolation method. For extraction by the percolation method, we need a device called a percolator. The type of percolators in which flasks and sand are used are percolators that, to put it simply, are used when we want to increase the volume a lot. That's why we use a device called a decanter instead of a percolator. A decanter is a device that you can get from all laboratory equipment suppliers. There are two types, cylindrical decanter and conical decanter. It's better to use the cylindrical decanter for extraction by this method, but if it's not available, you can also use the conical one. They come in various volumes, from as little as 50 milliliters up to 500 or even 1,000 milliliters. In the percolation method, which is a type of extraction method, we need an optimal ratio of plant material to solvent. The solvent we use for this method is a polar solvent, which we discussed during the training course. In this video, we use a hydroalcoholic solvent, which means a solvent made of 50% water and 50% ethanol in both the first and second steps. The ratio commonly used for the percolation method is usually 1:5. For example, if we use 30 grams of plant material, we use 150 milliliters of solvent. But in this video, we actually use a bit more than the usual 1:5 ratio, which we will explain further on. To use the plant material with this method, unlike maceration, we grind the plant into a powder. First, we take the dried leaves, grind them into a powder, and then add them to the percolator. Because if we try to add the plant leaves as they are, they take up too much space, and we can't add as much solvent as we need. That's why we always grind the plant into a powder first. Here, we have 30 grams of lemon balm leaves. According to the 1:5 ratio, we need to add 5 times that amount of solvent, which comes out to 150 milliliters. But in this method, we use between 200 and 250 milliliters of solvent, because before adding the solvent to the percolator, we want to add some of the solvent to the plant first. Because if we add the dried plant to the percolator and then add the solvent, the plant particles and the addition of the plant to the device can cause clogging, and we might have problems. And the solvent might not be able to cover all parts of the plant and extract the desired compounds. That's why we add it beforehand. So, we add a little bit of solvent to the plant and mix it until it forms a paste-like consistency. So, we've prepared 150 milliliters of solvent in advance, and before adding the powder to the percolator, we add about 6 milliliters of it to the mixture. Here we weigh it. We've weighed the plant powder. In 2 or 3 steps, we add 50 to 60 milliliters of solvent to the plant and mix it until it becomes a paste. Once the powder is fully mixed into a paste, we let it sit with a little solvent for about an hour or 2, and then we add it to the percolator device. To save time, I prepared the paste 2 hours ago, so now the plant powder that's been mixed with the solvent is ready to be added to the percolator. Now we can add our plant powder to the percolator device. Before adding this powder, We place some cotton on top of the drain valve of the device to prevent the plant powder from clogging the drain or escaping through it. We add our plant powder to the device. Be careful when adding the powder to the percolator. Add it to the percolator. Be careful when you do this. Please be very careful when you are doing this particular task. It is absolutely crucial to exercise extreme caution and pay close attention to every detail when you are undertaking this particular task or procedure. Any oversight or lack of careful consideration could potentially lead to undesirable outcomes. So please proceed with the utmost care and vigilance to ensure everything is handled correctly and safely. Be careful when you do this. Please exercise extreme caution and be exceptionally careful when you are performing this action. It is very important to proceed with great care and attention to detail when you are doing this particular task. Every 2 to 3 seconds, let a drop fall into the flask placed under the percolator. This step might ideally take 1 to 2 hours. Depending on the flow rate and the quality of the percolation method compared to maceration. In fact, the process time is greatly reduced. If maceration required 3 weeks, now in just 1 or 2 days we can extract our formula. We continue this process until the extract we want is completely removed from the powder.